Good evening. Today we're going to talk about the proper use and safe use of a fire extinguisher. If you should ever find yourself in a situation where you're at work and a trash can is on fire, or there's a small fire in a microwave, you'll know what to do. Fire extinguishers are easy, they're safe for the general public to use, and require a very minimal amount of training. There are several kinds of fire extinguishers out there on the market that you can use. You can use a water fire extinguisher, you can use a CO2 fire extinguisher. The one we're going to talk about today is called a dry chemical fire extinguisher or a ABC fire extinguisher. It's primarily used on paper, wood, trash, flammable liquids, and electrical devices like an outlet or something of that nature. There are a couple things that you want to make sure that you check on the fire extinguisher before you use it, and this should be done on a regular basis to make sure that the fire extinguisher will be in working order when called upon or needed. There's a safety tag that's going to have a date of when it was inspected. It's also going to have the month and what kind of fire extinguisher it is. Okay, and then sometimes it has initials and dates of who inspected it. You're also going to make sure that your fire extinguisher is charged. There's a gauge here. If it's in the red, it needs to be charged. If it's in the green, it's ready to go. Fire extinguishers come in all shapes and sizes. Most of them are going to be colored red. Some of them will have a nozzle. Some of them will just be back here at the stem. Now we're going to talk about the use of the fire extinguisher. Whenever you find a fire, you should always call 911 and make sure you notify the authorities where the fire is and what may be on fire. Then if you believe it's safe to use a fire extinguisher, put it out because the fire is small enough, like a small rubbish trash can type fire, then do so. Okay? When taking the fire extinguisher off, remember these four things, or this simple word: pass, pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. This will help you knock down whatever fire may be in the trash can or in the microwave or something small. These are for small fires. If the fire looks big and you're scared, evacuate and get out. Safety first. So, after you take the fire extinguisher off the wall, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull. All fire extinguishers have a safety pin at the top, so that way it prevents people from accidental discharge or tampering. Usually there's a safety device attached to that. Just pull the pin, the safety device will come out. After that would be the P part of pass. After you're done with that, you're going to want to aim the device. Make sure you aim it. And when you aim it at the base or source of the fire. So if it's a trash can, you get over it and you want to aim it at the bottom. Don't stand away and spray the top of it. It's going to do nothing. You want to get on top of it and aim towards the base of the trash can or towards the back of the microwave or whatever might be on fire. You want to attack the seat of the fire so that way it'll put out. Next, after you aim, you're going to want to squeeze. This is going to discharge the extinguisher. Once you squeeze it, do not stop until the fire extinguisher is completely discharged and there's nothing left. Remember to aim and squeeze. Okay? And when you squeeze until the fire extinguisher is completely empty. That means nothing else comes out. They're charged with compressed air. Eventually, you're going to run out of juice and there's going to be nothing left. The gauge will also tell you how much is on there, but you always squeeze until empty. Next thing is the second S, and that's going to be sweep. You're going to do a sweep, almost a sideways 8 motion, and you're going to sweep towards the base of the fire, and you're going to squeeze. Make sure you aim and empty the fire extinguisher completely. This is the proper and safe use of a fire extinguisher. Some things to remember: if the fire extinguisher isn't properly maintained, it doesn't have the proper tags, and isn't charged, it may not work. You want to make sure that if you have a fire extinguisher that you maintain it properly. Make sure it's inspected annually and make sure it's charged. Also make sure that there is the anti-tamper tag hasn't been tampered with and the pin is still in place. After using the extinguisher, you want to make sure the authorities were called and are on their way. Once they get there, they may want to know some information like what you use to put the fire out. You tell them the fire extinguisher. And generally, in most places, it's going to be an ABC or dry chemical. Now, they may also want to know some additional information, like when you noticed something was on fire, or what you saw before you put it out. So, back to the fire extinguisher. Very simple device to use, very safe. You'd be surprised how much chemical powder is actually in here, and how effective it can be. Try not to breathe the stuff in, but definitely do your best. There's always instructions on the front of the bottle in case you forget what I told you. And if you ever have any questions, contact your local fire department. They'll be happy to demonstrate or go over any of the things that I've gone over with you today. Thank you and have a good night.